Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be going over some tips on owning a club and helping your club grow that have personally worked for me and my club, Atomic Roses. However, every club can be different, so what worked for me might not work for you as well, and that's okay. I'm just going to share my experiences so far with my club. The first tip I have is to be organized and set a schedule for your events and your practices. It'll be a lot easier on your members with a lot less confusion if you can set a schedule. And I know that life happens sometimes. I myself, as a club owner, have had to cancel events before or cancel practices, but to have that schedule and be able to update that schedule as much as you can really helps your members find a way to be involved in the club and not have to feel annoying by asking when practices are. And also just having a more organized club with certain events on certain days, certain practices on other days just helps your club flow a lot better and operate better in general. The second tip I have is to remember to be flexible with your members, especially in the beginning, but throughout the whole time you have a club. Remember to be flexible with them. A lot of times people can rely on the owners and be a little bit dependent on them, but you also have to keep in mind that your members are human and they lead lives too. And that's really important because your members aren't necessarily going to be able to make every single event. And it's okay if an event doesn't go as well as another did because it's you want to be flexible with your members, and to a certain extent you do want to have certain activity requirements in place and that organization I was talking about, but you do want to be able to be flexible with them and understanding of what might be going on in their lives. The third tip that I have for owning a club is actually one that you can see a lot and it's said a lot, but quality over quantity, this is still a big one, so I'm going to add it in here. So if I want to talk about Atomic Roses for a second, it took us a few months to really get off the ground and start growing our club as much as I wanted it to. And it's important that you don't just add members just to have those numbers, because oftentimes if you add people that you don't really interview, or that maybe, because I know for a minute I was adding level 5 people, if you don't have certain requirements in place, you might not get the activity you want and you might not get exactly the type of members you want to involve in your club. And by that, I mean you want members who are going to be part of the positive environment you're trying to create, and one that's welcoming. And you want to make sure you're not keeping members in your club simply because they're active or because they're a high level. You want members that are going to help your club and help it continue to be a welcoming, inclusive environment. And if someone is not doing that, you need to consider, for the good of the club, removing them, not just because you want that extra member, because you want to keep in mind what I said at the beginning of this, quality over quantity. Make sure you have members that are really quality members over just having members to have members. My fourth tip for owning a club is to advertise and be active on socials. I know that some club owners can't have Instagram or Discord and whatnot, but you can also advertise in global chat for your club and put together a nice little paragraph about it. I find saying something like, we're a dressage and hangout club, we practice half the week and we love to do fun games. Something like that has always kind of helped pique attention for it. And especially just being active if you have other socials helps a lot to expand awareness of your club and to expand people who know about your club, and that will help bring in more people who want to join and more opportunities for the club as a whole, say like events with other clubs or conventions, etc., such like that. It definitely helps to advertise and be active on those social medias wherever you can. This next tip goes into what I was saying earlier about being flexible with your members. So make sure you connect with your members and create a positive, inclusive environment. If your member comes to you with something, they need to know that they can trust you, and you need to be able to connect with all of your members, and you need to make sure that all of your members are included in events, not just the high ranks and such like that. Like, you don't want favoritism in your club, because you really want to make an inclusive environment that makes every single member in the club feel like they're being heard. That's the most important aspect of that, is the members want to be heard. They want to know that they are an important part of the club, and that if they have an issue with something, they can come to you and talk to you about it, and you're not going to explode or get mad at them, and you can have a good conversation about something like that. Alright, the next tip is avoid drama, and as an owner, be the bigger person in a way. So a lot of clubs receive so much hate and then drama in their clubs sometimes, and as much as it might suck to hear, as an owner, you really do have to be the bigger person in a way. If someone is being rude to you, don't engage with them. Don't decide to insult them back or send things back. Be polite, and if you have to reject someone from your club, just be polite. And then if there's drama, create strict rules in your club about that, and then give the person an explanation, and then tell them why you have to remove them from your club. It's best to avoid drama as much as you can. People are not going to like drama in a club, and that just leads me back to the owner being a bigger person and avoiding drama as much as they can. Sometimes it's impossible, but if there's someone harassing you or sending you threats, block them and just try and move on with your life, because it will really affect a club if you let drama take over it, and your members won't really like that. My next tip is a really big one, and that's communication. It's really important that you communicate with your members and you communicate with your high ranks, and going back to some of my other tips, you just communicate with your members so that they know that they can come to you with something, or if there's something bothering you or something that's bothering them, you can talk to each other about it, because your members are your friends. They're supposed to be your friends. So really, communication is so important, because if there's an issue, try and talk it out and see if y'all can come to a compromise or something you can do to fix whatever's going on, and just listen to your members and any concerns they may have. And so communication is just such a big one for me, and it's been a big thing in my club, because it's just so important to understand that your members are human and you want them to trust you. You want them to feel like they can talk to you about something that's going on. So if they can't do that, there's a lack of trust there, so they don't feel like they can come to you with something, and you really want to create an environment that is welcoming and that your members feel like they could come to you or a leader if there's something going on. And communication is the start of that. The next tip I have is about trying to grow your club in specific. So I think that a lot of times if you see a club hanging out, say at Steve's or Starshine or Moreland, where there tends to be more people, that's another way that you can get people to see your club and get to know your club, and therefore have more people want to join, especially if you don't have Discord or Instagram or any way of promoting your club outside of Star Stable. Just hanging around where there tends to be a lot of people or hosting open events maybe on Global could really help like the server get to know your club, and then that will help more people want to join your club just by hanging out in areas where there tends to be a lot of people. My next tip is don't burn yourself out. It's really easy for club owners to overwork themselves and end up doing all of the work for their club and then not really taking any breaks. It's important to take breaks as a club owner if you need them, even just like a 1-day break, and then having like a leader do an event for you. It can be something as simple as that, or taking like a week break and letting your club know, because I feel like a lot of times there's a bit of a stigma with club owners taking breaks in a way. I don't know, that's just what I've seen. So it's okay to take a break, and your club will understand that, for instance, your mental health, it comes first, or like what's going on in your life comes first as well a lot of the time, and you understand that with your members, and it's important that they understand that you have to make yourself a priority too, just like you would be understanding if they needed a mental health break, or if they needed just a break from Star Stable, or if they had a lot going on in their life and they couldn't make an event that day. It's important to see that club owners are also human and they will need breaks too. So if you're a club owner, please don't burn yourself out with owning a club. Your club members will understand if you need a break. My next tip is to be creative with your club. You hear it a lot, pick a creative name and have a creative theme with that. It's really good to be unique, and it helps people remember you, and it also makes people want to join because it's something different from what they've always seen. So that's a really good aspect to have, especially when advertising. You could edit your Instagram photos to be unique and such like that, and then also just being able to have creative events also helps keep your members engaged. For instance, we've done Capture the Flag, a Hunger Games event, and you could do like Harry Potter too, just anything kind of unique that helps your members engage, and your members could also submit ideas, so going beyond the like hide and seek games. So that's just like how you could be more creative with your club, and then just create a more creative and unique club in general. It's just by doing things that other clubs don't necessarily do, having a name and a theme and that could be an outfit too. That isn't what a lot of clubs have. Lastly, just give it time, be patient. Your club will take a few months likely to really grow to the point you want it to. When you're first starting out, it is going to be slow. It was slow with Atomic Roses. We're not like a massive club, and we're not like a super well-known club, but it took a while for us to kind of reach a point where we felt pretty well-known on our server, and where we hit like a member level that we were comfortable with, not too many, but not too little for attending dressage competitions and such. But honestly, it just brings me back to quality over quantity, and really just taking time to find members that you think would fit well within your club, and not giving up. It will take time, it will take patience, things will happen, but don't give up and give it time. And that's all for my tips. And thank you for watching. I hope this could be helpful for some of you, or you just enjoyed listening to my rant for probably like 20 minutes. But Anyways, thank you for watching. Bye!